What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Big and Bliss Podcast, episode 21. Y'all know the drill. Anyways, we gotta start off with some real heavy shit this week. And I hate that this is what we have to start off with. But Henry Ruggs III, Raiders or ex-Raiders deep threat, wide receiver, I think second or third year in the league, breakout player, was on course to have his best season so far. I mean, we're not breaking news to y'all. You guys know what's happened. You guys have seen it in the media. His DUI that caused a death, and sad situation all across the board. First off, for the victims, I think her name is was it Tina Big? Tina Tintor, I believe. I'm pretty sure it is. From, the Big and Blizz podcast, Big Mike and myself, Blizzy. All condolences go out to the family of Tina, the victim Tina, and her family, But with that being said, it's just, like I said, it's a sad situation all across the board. Big Mike and myself have been discussing over text and phone calls this whole week. I mean, as soon as we see news, I think we talked at 7 a.m. Tuesday morning, Big?
Yeah,
about
something like that.
So it was
early.
It was early, and we were on the phone for like an hour and 15 minutes, and that was like the conversation piece on it. But as most of y'all know, if not all y'all know, so far he was at a friend's house early in the night drinking. Went to Top Golf out there in Las Vegas, got drunk. Obviously, was driving a C8 Corvette. 158 miles per hour. Made impact with a Toyota RAV4 at 127 is what they're saying. And the first witnesses on scene said they tried pulling her from the vehicle. She was screaming. And then it burst into flames, and they couldn't do much. And she ended up passing her, and she had a dog in the back seat. But so Ruggs is getting hit with 5 charges now. 4 felonies, 1 misdemeanor. He's getting hit with DUI resulting in death, which is a felony. DUI resulting in injuries, which is a felony. 2 counts of reckless driving. 1 for the victim, 1 for his passenger, is what we're guessing, his girlfriend. And a misdemeanor possession of a firearm while intoxicated charge, which leads me to believe that it was a registered firearm. It was registered legal, but you cannot possess a firearm when you're intoxicated, out in public. Again, like I said, sad situation all across the board, especially for the victim and her family. But also, he deserves to be punished, but it's sad for this young man, too, 22 years old, made a really big fucking bad decision, took a life, and now his career is over as well. And I'm not sitting here trying to say that he deserves sympathy, but I do feel bad in a sense, secondary for him, because he just lost his whole life.
Yeah. And I mean, you can see that in one of the videos where he's screaming fuck and kind of panicking.
No, and yeah, he's crying on the side of the road.
Because,
I don't think he was crying because he was thinking about his career. I think he was crying because he was looking at the vehicle that he said.
Well, I think he realized it was like one of those moments where you realized that what you just did ruined not only your life, and I'm like, for me, it's not even like career. Like, this man ruined his life.
Yeah.
Not only did he realize he had that
he had
clarity
that come to God moment or whatever.
Yeah, and he was like, I just
fucked up.
He's like, I fucked up, and people on scene said you could hear the person screaming. So obviously he could probably hear that and realizing what he had just done to that person and to his life and everything, and I think he just realized shit.
He fucked up royally. There's no coming back from that.
Yeah, that's one of those things, we all have made bad decisions, whether it's speeding or whatever, or drinking and driving or whatever it is.
And drinking and driving is more of a common thing in this world, in this country, especially this world. than most people admit to, you know? I'm not saying it's right, don't get it wrong. And don't get it twisted. I'm not saying it's right. But this shit is happening. I'm sure that our listeners, either you have or somebody in your immediate family or close friend group has driven drunk. The only difference is they didn't make a catastrophic, mistake that killed somebody or you know, and not saying it's right at all.
And I saw an article one time that said something like when people were interviewed, some people admitted to driving over 100 times drunk before they were ever pulled over.
That's crazy.
And so it's like, it's not right, but it's something that happens
daily, nightly, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, and we could speculate on why would he drive when he's got that much money, and why would he drive when the NFL offers a driver. You literally, anybody in the NFL, management, coach.
And we've talked about this. Sorry to interrupt you real fast. Big Mike and myself have talked about this a million times. We actually, the crazy thing is, 2 weeks ago, because we took a week off from podcasting last week, but the week before, right before we came out in the studio and podcasted, we just had the same discussion with my wife and my son about when you sign to an organization, like in the NFL for sure, because we've seen things, and this is what Big Mike's discussing. So we had been talking about this. I don't know if we podcasted this, but listen to what he's saying, and it's just crazy because we had just mentioned this shit, and then this happens. But go ahead, Big. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and so in the NFL, it's not even, from what I've read into, it's not even team-based most of the time.
It's
the whole NFL. So it doesn't matter if you're top of the food chain, bottom of the food chain.
If you're the Lions to the fucking Patriots or Buccaneers. Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're like a dude that works on the field or anything. So long as you're part of an NFL organization, you have access. And obviously, they probably aren't going to pick you up in a Rolls Royce if you're the dude who fixes the field.
Right.
But you have access to a phone number.
Most of them get business cards.
Yeah, and I mean, or you just plug it into your phone or whatever.
Plug
and you can call no matter what time, whatever.
Any hour of the night, morning, day.
And they'll come and pick you up and give you a safe ride home.
Pick you up in, like, say, executive limousine, like an SUV, a town car, and they will either have somebody drive your vehicle home for you, or they will come out and pick you up on a flatbed wrecker and load your shit up on it, and you can sit shotgun or whatnot, and they will take you home. But you have options as an NFL player for sure. I don't know about the other leagues. We haven't really looked into that, which we probably should.
Yeah.
But the reason I know this is because, and the reason that Big Mike and myself know this, I should say, is because back in, I want to say like 5-7 years ago, when the Cowboys offensive lineman in his Mercedes wrecked drunk and killed his passenger, that's what came out from the organization, is that they had access to this, not a chauffeur. It's got its own name.
It's almost like a concierge service.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what came out. That why didn't he use this? And it's easy to say, why don't these players use it? And we've speculated, like most of you guys have that are following the situation, like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And it's crazy, but if you've ever drank and been drunk, most people feel like they're Superman, or I'm not that bad, or I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's nuts, especially being that young. You're cast in the spotlight and given millions, and then you feel like you're invincible because a lot of times you're kind of treated like you are. You get away with everything when you're a superstar. And Henry Ruggs III was not a fucking bum-ass player. He wasn't a coming off the bench player. He was, in his own right, he was a superstar. He was the deep threat for the Raiders. He was leading the team with, like, deep threat balls and touchdowns and shit. Like, he wasn't a bum-ass player. So there's a lot of it probably goes back to him thinking that he was more invincible than he was, obviously. Not saying it's right at all, but it's just a fucked up situation.
Well, it's like Derek Carr even said, he's like, I can sit here and beat myself up and say, what could I have done and who could have helped him and blah, 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 this and that.
Because Ruggs was at Top Golf.
And like Snapchatting.
He messaged Carr is what Carr said. Carr was sleeping.
Well, it looked like the video of his girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, that he Snapchatted. But Carr...
It looked like a Snapchat.
That
so
was.
I don't know if
that
he
was.
sent that to Derek Carr or...
Carr had, in that conference, said that Ruggs had reached out to him and Carl Nassib and said... He probably sent him a video because he said, how's my swing? What can I do better? Or something to that effect. But Carr said he didn't get it till he had woken up, or maybe I can't remember the exact thing. Maybe he responded at the time, but you don't know that he's going to go out and drive 158 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you don't know he's that drunk. But Carr said he's beating himself up. Like, what could I have done to possibly stop
I've
this?
been there, blah, blah, like those kind of things. And I mean, that's what everybody is like. Well, it's hindsight's 20/20.
Absolutely.
Well,
Monday morning quarterback kind of thing.
Yeah. Why did he drive? Why did he do this? Why didn't he do this? And I mean, like you said, when you're twice the legal limit, you get into that, especially at 22.
Yep.
You get into that. I'm invincible. I can do whatever.
And
I want.
you're a multi-millionaire driving a fucking a supercar. That C8 is a domestic supercar.
Yeah.
And you just think you're invincible, and you probably take on this. Where our team is based in Las Vegas. This is party capital, but he went from a friend's house drinking, from what I understand, to Top Golf. So he wasn't even out like clubs. I mean, it was Tuesday, but there's always something to do in Vegas.
And I mean, that's what we've talked about is putting a pro team in Vegas.
We've discussed this many times. I don't know if we discussed it on the podcast.
We haven't.
We should have, because this would make more sense.
But we've always said that putting a pro team in Vegas is not not setting yourself up for failure, but it's tough because a lot of these guys want to party. They want to go out and have fun. And it's like, say the Raiders were still in Oakland. Like, there's shit to get into in San Francisco and Oakland. But San Francisco, it isn't 24/7. Like, there's a closing time. Vegas, literally, Vegas is 24/7, 365. There's legit no days off in that city when it comes to partying.
Yeah, San Francisco's got a 2 a.m. It's California. There's a 2 a.m. 1:45 last call. Can't sell alcohol from 2 to 6.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. In Vegas, it's like, there's no off switch on that town.
No, there's not. And that's that goes back to the Golden Knights when they put their hockey team there. We had discussed that, and that was the first pro team they put, and we were like, how's that gonna be putting younger millionaires in a party city and all this stuff, and then I want to say it was Pat McAfee, but I could be wrong. We were talking about this earlier, but somebody was talking about it in a video about how some of the visiting teams that came and played the Las Vegas Golden Knights NHL team had slumps. On that away game in Las Vegas had slumps because they were kind of up late or they were experiencing the whole Vegas nightlife. So when they played the next day against the Golden Knights, they had some of their worst games for that season,
Yeah.
And that's understandable, but I guess it's just you got to be more disciplined, but that's hard to say. Hockey, we talked about that earlier. NBA, NFL, NBA, you take these guys, some of them, a lot of them, out of poverty. But in poverty, you can buy a $5 basketball. You can go to the park. You can train. You can get all your moves down. And you can become, a good player and then build from there. Football, you and a friend can have football and, start zinging some passes back and forth, catching, and build up a little bit. And then, you sign up for a Pee-wee football team. Doesn't really cost you much, maybe entry fees or whatnot, and you play and you get better. Hockey is a league that you have to have money to play hockey from a child up. You have to buy equipment, and then your equipment changes. Like in football, you kind of rent the equipment or borrow it from the
league usually.
The league usually, yeah. Hockey, you have to buy your own. Then you outgrow it. You have to buy more. And then you have to travel. There's a lot of money put into hockey. So you don't get a lot of people from poverty that play hockey, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So bringing somebody that's had the lifestyle of being coached more or taught better, and then taking somebody out of poverty and giving them millions, the outcome, in my opinion, is going to be a little bit different. Normally. And not saying that it's always, but normally, you know?
Well, so. And to me, and I'm not saying that it's the team's fault or the NFL's fault.
Not at all.
But I think it some of the blame for the things that happen does lie on the people writing the checks.
Yeah.
Because it's like if you came up with nothing and were signed a $20 million check, are you going to make the best decisions?
No, it's new money.
Like, you're not going to make the best decisions, and you would think the NFL would know that by now. Mm-hmm. And I know that they have their.
They don't give a fuck. NFL
well, I know, but I'm saying
the next man up. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
And I know they have like a rookie symposium and like, but a lot of it, from what I've read, is.
Players can opt out.
You can opt out it's like a optional type of thing.
They should make it like
it should be mandatory.
Mandatory, thank you.
And if you don't take that rookie symposium, you're not even allowed to be entered into the draft. Like, make it happen pre-draft, so that teams aren't getting guys who afterwards are like, nope.
Yeah, that'd be the best vetting you could do.
Literally, to make them go to the rookie symposium, make them look at taxes, make them look at what's actually coming out of their checks and stuff, because a lot of 19, 20-year-olds don't understand that.
No. Well, like Shaq said, when he got signed, he got that 1 million or 1.6 million.
Oh, he spent that shit so fast?
He didn't know taxes. He was never told shit. He just thought, oh, they said I'm getting signed for $1 million. I've got $1 million in my bank. No, you have about 780,000. So that's 220 off top for taxes.
Yeah, and then he went out and bought a black Mercedes
for himself, drove it home. His dad was like, where's mine?
And they went back and bought the exact same one.
And then his mom said, where's mine? Bought her the baby one, bought a house, and then he actually got a call from the bank that his family is friends with, and the guy was like, hey, you're in debt. But since they were close with the banker, they helped him out.
Yeah.
Thank God. Look at Shaq now. Like,
you see the quote he said the other day?
Probably not.
He said, now that my kids are older and they try to run around saying, we rich, he said, nah, I'm rich.
Yep.
And I'm like, damn! I mean, not wrong, but...
He's not. What do you say? You have to have 4 or 3 degrees to get my cheese, is what he says. That's the saying. He tells his kids, you have to have 3 degrees, like a bachelor or whatever. Not huge degrees, but you have to have 3 degrees to get his cheese. And then he'll buy you whatever you want, invest in whatever you want, whatever. Hey, he's a smart man, dude. And that's somebody whose kids are coming up that are going to know the value of $1.
Yeah.
Who aren't just born into it, silver spoon. And those motherfuckers think they can drive drunk and do whatever they want to. The ones that have the silver spoon in their mouth. And they don't have the same repercussions, usually, But this situation is just fucked all across the board. And, Mike, I can't stress that enough. Condolences to the victim and her family, first and foremost.
1,000,000%.
We're not sitting here trying to fucking defend Henry Ruggs. He fucked up. But I will say Derek Carr, who's a God-fearing Christian, kind of a Bible thumper in a sense, you know what I'm saying? He, in the press conference after this happened, he had said the same thing, that condolences to the family and that first and foremost. But he's still going to be there for Henry Ruggs. Just because he made a mistake, he still needs to know that he is loved and has supporters. And I guess the Raiders organization came out today or yesterday and kind of mimicked that in a sense and said that they are still going to support him. They cut him and everything because they can't be attached to that, and he fucked up. But they're still going to support him too. There's players across the league that are saying they're still going to support him, as in, being there for him. And they've all said the same thing, that first and foremost, condolences to the victim and the family. It's just a shitty situation. He is now up to 5 charges, 4 felonies, 1 misdemeanor. Again, I think I said this earlier. He's got a DUI causing injuries, felony, DUI causing death. And the DUI causing injuries, we're pretty sure, is because the passenger's girlfriend. The DUI causing death, we already know, is the victim. 2 felony reckless driving counts. 1, the reckless driving causing death, obviously. And the other, a reckless driving causing injury, which is, we're assuming, is for the victim, or the passenger, which is girlfriend, who was injured. And then a misdemeanor gun charge because he had a loaded pistol, which it's a misdemeanor to carry a firearm while intoxicated. So they're saying that he could face up to 46 years. And mind you, I really hope he bought his mom and dad or his loved ones their vehicles and the houses that most of these athletes usually buy, because after this, he's getting his ass sued by the victim's family. I can almost guarantee it. They haven't said anything yet. Obviously, it's only been a couple of days. I don't expect them to. But he is most likely getting taken for everything he's got. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, I'm not saying, I don't think.
There's no price that can bring their daughter, sister, whatever back. But, I mean, they're not wrong if they sue his ass.
Yeah, that's what I'm, like, he's not, it's tough because he's gonna lose out on a lot of that guaranteed money, and as he should. I'm not saying he shouldn't.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
What I'm saying is,
it's a slippery slope, what we're talking about.
I don't know how much liquidity he's going to have to get sued for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
but whatever he has, they're going to take.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, his insurance, because just because you're drunk doesn't mean your insurance doesn't cover shit.
Yeah.
So his insurance is going to be sued. He's going to be sued.
And I'm sure he had the top line insurance too.
Oh, on that he had to have on that C8.
C8, well, even the extras and shit, you know?
Yeah. So, and I mean, do I think he does the max time? No.
Absolutely not. And it depends, like we talked about earlier, and this is, I'm not even speaking for Big Mike. I'm speaking for myself, and I'm just being devil's advocate. The girl that he hit, the woman that he hit, was she inebriated? Was she sober? That'll change the trajectory of his trial, or when it comes to that, unless he plea bargains. That'll change shit if she was intoxicated. There's so many different factors. Yeah. Like we talked about earlier, the handgun charge, that'll be plead off. Like, that'll be dismissed.
And really, a lot of what he's going to get will also depend on the judge.
True.
Because you're telling me a judge who, let's say, had someone in their family die from a DUI crash.
Yeah, they're going to feel some type of way. And
then you have a judge who has never had a run-in with a DUI crash minus work as a judge. They're going to... Each one of those people are going to rule differently.
Yeah.
And I mean, in our judicial system, the judge there'll be a jury if they go to trial, but the judge is the one who makes the sentence.
He influences too, and he influences the jury too, with the way he talks too.
But the judge is the one who sentences.
And that's if they go to jury. He could take a plea. He'll probably take a plea bargain, I would think.
Yeah, but like we were talking earlier, I think that he's gonna have to do actual prison time.
Yeah, most likely. And
I don't see a way around it, and he should. 1,000%. I think he should.
Yeah.
How much?
That's not up to us. And I'm gonna ask you on air, like I asked you earlier. Take everything into consideration. The same thing I asked you earlier. Do you think he ever plays another snap of NFL football?
No.
And I agree.
I don't... Then this is my thinking. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Michael Vick did his thing, and it's not... It's not totally different. It's different levels.
Yeah.
He did his time. Was given a second shot. Mm-hmm. Right? Cool. Ray Rice did what he did. Not cool, obviously.
But not close to this.
Not close to this. Hasn't seen it down.
What about the Ravens player back in 2009? I can't remember. We talked about this.
Dante Stallworth,
who was driving his Bentley drunk and struck a bicyclist or a pedestrian.
Yeah.
And he was drunk and killed him. And he was sentenced to 30 days in jail. Did 24. Didn't play a whole season from the NFL suspension, and they came back and played on the Patriots and stuff.
Yeah, he got a Super Bowl ring with the Patriots, I'm pretty sure.
No, he was on the team that went
the one that lost after being completely undefeated.
Went undefeated through the season playoffs and lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
but he could have. But so he was sentenced to 30 days in jail, probation, and only did 24. But in 2009, it's not 2021. That wasn't 2021. Cancel culture wasn't what it is now.
Honestly, I think there's between 2009 and now.
Yeah. The NFL's tightened up.
The NFL's tightened up. The public opinion is now more prevalent.
And cancel culture and everything.
Well, and also...
I'm not saying, cancel culture doesn't really fit in this because these are real fucking mistakes.
Yeah. Well, and I was saying also, a lot of legislation for DUIs and stuff have changed since then, where they've made them, like, they stay on your record longer. There's more
higher
repercussions,
penalties.
higher penalties, because they're trying to crack down on it, which they should.
Which they should make it that zero tolerance, where buzz driving is drunk driving. That's what I seen something that said that people think they get away with shit because it's up to you to say, I went out and had a few drinks. I feel I'm okay to drive.
Without a breathalyzer in your pocket, you never really know.
Well, that was a point of this story that I read, and they're saying that you shouldn't even be given that freedom, that option to think, oh yeah, I'm a little bit buzzed, but I'm pretty sure I'm under 0.8. They're saying that the article I read, buzz driving should be drunk driving, zero tolerance. Like if you're under 21 in California, if you're 20 and you get pulled over right now. And they smell alcohol in your breath. They smell alcohol in your breath. That's a DUI. And they're saying that's how it should be across the board for every age too. But that's what I was saying. What dude Stallworth that got that homicide DUI and the charge? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was sentenced to 30 days. Did 24. Well, the difference is the state of Nevada. You can't get probation like in most states. Even the DUI with death, you can get probation, like if the judge wants to. Nevada, the minimum is 2 years. So unless you were to be able to get that charge dropped down or dismissed to reckless driving and that's it,
there's no way.
No, that was when he only had DUI with death and reckless driving. Now he's got 4 felonies and a misdemeanor. There's no way.
We know
there was
what
never
they do.
any way.
We know what they do. They add more counts than they're really going after. It's a way to fluff up the...
Mm-hmm. They'll plea bargain down to 1 felony or 2 felonies.
They're probably
the DUI death.
2.
Yes, exactly. DUI death and the reckless driving death. They're gonna plea bargain down the 2 DUI injury, reckless driving injury for his girlfriend, and the gun charge.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, they throw the book at you so they have some wiggle room to plea bargain down in case they want to throw you a plea.
Yeah.
You know, plead out before trial.
But I honestly think that I say he does 18 months.
You think?
Behind bars. 18 months.
I mean, the minimum's 2 years for one, and that's 24 months.
I say, well, what I feel like is that he'll do about after time served, blah, he'll get 18 months, and then he'll be released on monitor for another year or something.
And his attorneys will probably use COVID and overcrowding and all that.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh yeah.
I'll say, no, I'm not gonna even do that.
I think 18 months.
I agree because if I say 26 months, then it's gonna be like we're betting on a game, and that's not fucking cool.
I'm just trying to be realistic and see, like, honest. If you're asking me personally,
what he should get,
I don't know if he should see the light of. I don't think he should ever be out of prison.
I think it's an eye for an eye. If you take a life, then you should either rot behind walls. And it doesn't matter if you're a fucking superstar, celebrity,
And
millionaire.
I know
everybody should be treated equally.
I know he made a bad decision, but if I walked out the front door right now and made a bad decision and shot somebody, I'm going to prison for a long ass time.
And you can't do, oh, I was drunk. You know?
So that's, personally, I think he should get the max.
Yeah.
I think if you murder somebody, whether it's accidental or not,
with the vehicle.
Well,
it would be manslaughter.
There's, like, if you if your gun accidentally goes off, there's things that...
there's different circumstances.
But if you are charged with murder, which he's not charged with manslaughter at this point, is he?
Yeah.
It's murder.
No. It's DUI resulting in death. So I don't even know what that entails.
To me,
I haven't looked
if
at
you're
it.
doing 156 on a road...
158 and hit her at 127. That's like you going out in the street, spinning your gun, and just shooting. Just pew, pew, pew.
Yeah,
you know?
like,
and then somebody getting hit. Because you know your car is a C8 Corvette, a 2,700-pound missile.
Yeah.
At that speed? Bro.
And
any speed.
And that's my thing is... So to me, if I was the judge and like they asked me or whatever, I would say, dude needs the max. And I would say that for anybody in this situation. And that's the thing is, no matter how many years he gets and no matter what happens to him, that family will never have closure. Ever. There's no way that mom, that brother will ever be the same after this.
You know Big Mike's lying, right? He's a Broncos fan, so he wants the Raiders player to get the max so he doesn't torch him. Sorry, I had to bring some kind of light to this.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's fucked up. But
yeah,
no, I agree.
So, like, we could sit here and say, man needs the death penalty or man needs that.
But you know what? What will impact his sentence is if the victim's family, finds closure. If they make peace with it, if they talk to him and forgive him, and then because that happens a lot, they might hit his wallet, his bank account, but a lot of times, because and going back to the TMZ video of him sitting there crying and saying fuck, and we don't know if it's because he's thinking about my life's done, or if because he was looking at the victim's vehicle. If maybe
or
he
was just in pain. Like, really, there's no way...
Exactly. But if the victim's family talks to him and sees he's sincere, they might completely forgive and speak on his behalf and tell the judge that they've forgiven him and not to throw the book at him, to give him the minimum. This shit happens. I've seen this a million times. Well, yeah, a lot of times.
I couldn't do it.
I don't know. I've never been in that position.
I don't think I could.
I don't think I could either. No matter if that was my favorite team, my fucking favorite player, if I was wearing the jersey when my sister or whoever got killed, no. Sitting here now, but again, hindsight's 2020. You know? So, but a lot of people forgive motherfuckers that have done a lot worse. You know?
Yeah.
So that will influence how the jury sees it, how the judge sees it, sentencing and all that shit too. You know?
100%.
So we'll have to see. Either way, he is obviously responsible for what he did. He needs to be responsible for his, he needs to, I don't know, do the crime, do the time kind of thing. It sounds
100%.
corny as shit. But yeah, so again, I mean, this was breaking news Tuesday morning, and fuck, man. It's just a shitty situation.
But 1,000%.
We need to make it a little bit more positive and move on from that. I'm getting word from Big Mike over here showing me that we've been on this for a minute.
Well, before we move positive, we got that one other thing with another Raiders player.
The Raiders can't catch a break. Gruden with his bullshit we talked about. This shit.
And then what is it?
Arnett.
DeMonte?
Damari Arnett. Whatever. Safety is safety, right? Quarterback safety. I
think it said cornerback was the article.
He's a defensive back.
Yeah.
So the first thing that we talked about earlier was I had a thing pop up. It was talking about in 2020, some lady suing him from 2020 went for a hit and run where she claims
Is it the
to be
same
injured.
Cornerback?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No,
okay.
I didn't realize. I heard you talking about it, but I didn't realize that it was the same
Yeah.
dude.
Where she claims to be injured from a 2020 hit and run. And
she's just now hitting him up?
That's what my wife was talking about. Maxie was talking about 2021 is about to be over. What the fuck? This is like, how? Now?
Year and a half, 2 years. Like...
And I saw the picture of her white, looked like a 2008-ish Nissan Maxima. And the side of it was, it looked like somebody had hit it and like she drove down a pole.
Yeah.
Like just dented up. Didn't look anything bad. But he's getting hit she's trying to get at him for a hit and run that injured her. But it was probably fine until she seen him on TV. I could be wrong. I'm not, but that was the start of this situation we were talking about earlier. But go ahead.
And he's seen in a... Well, I saw a TikTok video, but it wasn't made by him. It was made by somebody who was screen recording. Okay, Takashi Snitch 9 over here. I think it was either IG stories or Facebook stories that they were recording. And it was him...
I'm pretty sure it was IG, but yeah.
It was him talking about... say you're 5 minutes away, pull up, motherfucker.
Pull up inward.
You about to get shot, and he pulls up it's an AK-74U is what it looked like, which is it's the submachine gun version of the AK-47.
Yeah, it was and
it had a
drums.
double drum mag in it.
Had
like it looked
two
aggressive.
cinnamon rolls on that bitch, and the red beam and all that shit.
And then
flashing this heavy ass gun on there.
And then he keeps going. He pulls up a pistol, look like a Glock. Pulls up a full on AK. It looked like man's going
like a Draco and shit.
Man is talking about how he gonna kill. He never names whoever he's gonna kill, but
he said you fight. You say you're 5 minutes away. Pull up, bitch.
Yeah, and I mean essentially what it comes down to is some dude was in his DMs. Talking shit, coming over to his house.
Said, I'm 5 minutes away, you're going to pull up and kill you kind of thing.
Yeah, and he never, it never comes out, exactly what the DM says. Doesn't say whether, dude was threatening him to, kill him or beat him up or whatever. But, so this dude, his mind was to jump on IG stories and do that.
Yeah. Again, goes back to you're playing for your dream is to make it to the league. You made it to the Raiders. You're a big piece of their team. And you're out here showing your ass on social media with guns. And from what we know, they could be completely legal. Nevada's gun laws are different from California where we live. They could be completely legal. But Jesus Christ.
Well, I know that Nevada's gun laws are a lot more lax than ours.
Not Texas lax, but yeah.
Those drum mags, probably legal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All of his guns are probably legal. I'm saying probably because I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm going to assume that they are legal. But brandishing a firearm while threatening to kill another human being...
And he said kill multiple times. I'll kill you.
...is not legal in any state.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the least he could get is a terrorist threat.
Terroristic threats.
That's at this point, that's the
misdemeanor
minimum they could charge him with. And obviously, he's probably got enough money that he'll get lawyers and get that dealt with.
The NFL might suspend him, which they probably should.
I honestly, I think they should suspend him.
Absolutely.
Do I think...
And fine him.
He should, obviously, if he gets suspended, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
I don't think the Raiders will cut him for something like this.
No, absolutely.
I think it would be a really...
Well, who knows after everything that's going down?
Well, and that's the thing. Everything that's going down between the Washington football team, Gruden, Henry Rugg, everything's just...
So listen, so the earlier show we were talking about with the same guy, Damon Arnett, right? Hit and run and Henderson crash. Let's see. The cornerback, Damon Arnett, left the scene after hitting into the car in Henderson last year. A collision that caused serious injuries to the other driver. The suit claims Arnett crashed into Yaneth Cacique's car in the morning of October 2020 on St. Rose Parkway near Bermuda Road. The complaint was filed this past October, about a month before former Raiders receiver Henry Ruggs III was involved in the deadly crash. According to the complaint, Arnett was allegedly heading eastbound on St. Rose with a passenger in the pickup truck, moving at least 65 miles per hour. And this is quotes, to avoid being late for a meeting he was to attend at the Raiders headquarters, which is about a block east. Arnett lost control of the car and crashed into Cacique, who was stopped at the intersection, the complaint alleges. And then photos include the complaint show Cacique's car, which is damaged on the driver's side, and Arnett's vehicle, which has left front end damages. The suit alleges Arnett left the scene and his passenger tried to claim he was driving. Oh, shit. Later, defendant Damon Arnett was located and confronted at Raiders headquarters when he admitted he was the operator of the vehicle that was traveling at a high rate of speed when he lost control of the vehicle and crashed into the vehicle operated by plaintiff Yaneth Kuromoto Cacique, the suit claims. Yeah, blase. So there's a lot more. It says Henderson Municipal Court records show Arnett was charged with failure to maintain a lane and duty to stop at an accident. Both misdemeanors. He pleaded guilty and paid $1,640 in fines.
She didn't wait over a year for all that, the criminal side of it.
Well, because the cops came and his passenger got out of the vehicle. He took off to Raiders facility. The passenger stayed and said he was driving or some shit. Whatever, you know?
But what I'm saying is, she just waited till now to go after him financially.
When she realized he was a Raiders player, it seems like.
Well, no, because she would have realized that a year ago.
Oh, when he said he was late for the meeting at the Raiders.
Well, also when the whole criminal stuff, because if...
Yeah.
So she would... And the thing is...
And she's saying serious injuries, and the pictures didn't look that serious, but a minor crash can cause major injuries.
And so, the thing is, sometimes, and I don't know if this is how it works in Nevada, I know sometimes you're not allowed to file, like, personal lawsuits until the criminal proceedings are completely done.
Oh, gotcha.
So, maybe with COVID and stuff, it took a year to get that stuff done.
And that could be.
And so now she's able to file. But originally, and this is why I hate titles all the time, is originally the title made it sound like...
It looks like a fender bender. The SUV is his.
Yeah.
The car is hers.
But the title made it sound like she hadn't heard and hide near a hair of him for over a year.
Yeah.
And then filed and like came out of nowhere.
Well, it's TMZ clickbaiting. But I just showed
Everywhere does the clickbait.
True. I just showed you the photos of the damage to the SUV he was in and her sedan. It doesn't look that... I mean, it looks like damage.
What? So how fast was he going? Did it say 65?
That's what she's saying.
Well, so I'm just saying, like...
The damage doesn't look 65 miles an hour to me.
Well, my biggest thing is I always think about this. Like, when you get in an accident, if one of you's going north and one of you's going south, you say that one person...
That's going to be times 2.
So one of you guys is doing 40 and the other person's doing 50. That accident actually happened at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah. If not more, because you come to a dead stop.
Yeah, and so... And I wasn't there, so...
But the picture I showed you... Don't look 65, do they?
It does not look like he was doing 65, because if he's doing 65 and say the speed limit was 35, that means they would have easily been collided into each other at around 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And that doesn't look
that way, but
and
we weren't
I'm not
there.
a crime scene investigator.
Yeah, we weren't there.
I'm giving you my opinion on what I saw.
You're right, though. Anyways, are we all from that? Are we on to the other big news in the NFL?
Like I saw something that said, we just need to hit a reset delete this Raiders franchise and start over.
Damn.
Madden style.
It's cold-blooded. My wife would kick in your balls right now. You know, Matt. You know, sis. Anyways,
hey, she probably agree with me.
She was out here when you said that earlier before we started recording.
She probably agree with me at this point.
She kind of did. Not deleting the organization, but deleting this season. But OBJ.
I mean,
that's a weird situation right now, if I'm not mistaken. No.
Yeah, they reworked his guaranteed money into a bonus, and
well, for the people that don't know what's going on, I don't even know the exact shit of what's going on. Well, I know OBJ Senior, Odell Beckham Senior, put out an 11-minute video showing every time Baker Mayfield missed the target on OBJ when he was open, or Odell Beckham Jr. when he was open, and all this shit, and just shitting on Baker Mayfield, and then Steve Smith Senior, who used to play
wide receiver, current
Panthers,
analyst.
Ravens, retired as a Panther. Great. Is he 5'8"?
Yeah, tiny motherfucker.
But fucking played like he was 6'8".
Oh, that man played like.
Would
it ain't about size of the dog in the fight.
Yeah,
it's about the fight and the dog.
Yeah, no. Steve Smith Senior he's a real one.
And
as an analyst, what do you say?
He said, Baker Mayfield, you're not that good, or something like that.
Average, yeah. You're not that good. Yeah.
But yeah, the whole Odell Beckham, it started before the dad thing. From what I've read, he kind of just.
Hold on, that Arnett story. The lady said she suffered $92,000 in damages. For what? An 06 fucking Maxima? Anyways, go ahead. Sorry, I had to say that.
But from what I've read, Odell kind of stopped caring. Like, he wasn't going as hard in practice. He kind of was just lazying around, like.
Which I can see. He seems like the type.
He's a crybaby.
He doesn't speak on shit. He's a diva. He's a fucking diva. But.
Yeah, and so he was just doing all that shit, and then that Baker Mayfield shit came out, and Baker said that they were going to be able to work it out, and I think the team just saw it as too much of a distraction.
Which is, yeah, I get it. And you got to remember, like, OBJ just came off season-ending injury from last season with his knee and shit.
Also, hot take, OBJ's not that great of a receiver.
No.
He had one catch.
The one fucking one-handed catch in a game they lost to my Cowboys.
I bet you money that without those gloves, he wouldn't have fucking made the catch.
Talking about the magnetic ones?
These fucking gloves are getting... I've actually heard analysts say that the gloves are getting to the point where, like,
cheating.
Receivers don't even really have to catch the ball anymore.
Have you seen? I saw something on YouTube, I believe, and they have these gloves now that are magnetic, and they have in the point of the football, they have a magnet, and these gloves have magnet. And literally, you can put your hand out, hold it up flat as fuck, and the ball will come, and you just it's a catch every time. I mean, you're talking about Tom Brady fucking deflated balls and shit. I wonder if quarterbacks have ever used those. I don't know. I'm just saying, you know?
I mean, you wouldn't put it past some team eventually to do it.
I wouldn't either. But
everybody's always trying to get a leg up, whether it's legal, illegal, hanging on trash cans.
Shit, having a buzzer on your chest. That's so funny, though. But yeah, OBJ is... So all that shit was said. His dad released that video. I guess he wasn't... I didn't know that aspect of it. Wasn't participating in practice.
Like, he was there, but he was there, but doing something he wasn't...
The coach kicked him out of practice. So
because he was like... It's one of those things where you're there, but you're
getting paid to be there when you're not doing your fucking work.
You're just kind of like chilling.
Yeah, and the coach, I guess, ended up telling some of the other players on the team, Odell Beckham does not play here anymore. All this shit. He wanted to trade. So he's trying to work his way out of Cleveland, all that shit.
Yeah.
Well, they ended up cutting him. They couldn't get a suitor for a trade because he's got a big contract. And they released him. Now he's a free agent. And his guaranteed whatever amount of millions, I guess they made it to where everything but like $1.5 million could be given on the back end for any team that signs him. They will be able to put all those millions into like the signing bonus, which doesn't go against the cap. And then when they sign him, only $1.5 million goes towards the cap. Oh, this is okay. $7.5 million goes towards the cap, which for him is not with the hype. That's a small fee. Well, but it's all hype. That's the fucking problem.
Well, and the problem is there's a lot of teams like I know like that would be interested in him that don't have the cap room to claim him off waivers like that.
Well, and he's a fucking diva. He has an issue with everything.
And the thing is, if he clears waivers, like no one grabs him off the waiver wire, that means he becomes a full-fledged free agent.
He did.
No, he hasn't cleared waivers yet. They just released him. So once he does clear waiver, or if he clears waivers, then teams can sign him for whatever they want. As of right now, you're stuck paying his current contract.
That's right, the 7.5.
The 7.5, which they couldn't work out into the signing bonus.
But the rest, because I mean, they were paying him what, like $20-something million a season, or?
Oh yeah, he was making god awful money.
For like, he was making, like number one fucking receiver in the league money.
Yeah, and so if he clears waivers, it was $14 million a year.
So yeah, whoever claims him eats $7.5 million. So more than likely he goes unclaimed and can sign wherever he wants.
Yeah,
is what Carlos was saying. So he's gonna clear waivers.
Yeah, because no one wants to eat that $7.5 million on, and it's not even a full season out of him.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean? It's half season now. So yeah, he'll clear waivers and then he gets pick a litter, and he'll probably go to the Bucks. I don't think they have a space for him.
Well, and then, like I said earlier, Von Miller's already trying to recruit him on Twitter to the Rams. But when I was looking, like...
Hey, I just heard the Raiders have an opening spot. Too soon?
Too soon.
He's a deep threat.
He's
a diva, but he's not a drunken driver, right?
I
don't know.
He's just not... I don't really think he's a deep threat anymore.
No, I don't think he is either. Ruggs was... Damn, that's so fucked up. Because Ruggs, that young man, was promising. On the field, that motherfucker was a stud. Off field,
Yeah.
And the Big and Blizz podcast, keep it 1,000. We don't fucking... We don't censor shit. We don't hide from shit. Henry Ruggs fucked the fuck up. He was on pace to be one of the top receivers in the league, and probably next year or the year after sign a fucking maximum contract.
Yeah.
He royally shit the bed. The best, and we talked about that earlier. The best case scenario, he does his time, takes care of all his legal shit, and comes back and is a voice of reason as a teacher. He mentors. He mentors in the NFL. He'll probably never get a coaching contract or anything, but he mentors. But
he just becomes
finds God and becomes a pastor.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's
churches on tax. He can become a billionaire from that.
He can lean into what he did and make it a teaching point for other people and become a speaker. And
that's what I've been saying. Talk to the rookies about the fucking stupid decisions like he made.
Yeah, and so with the Rams, my hard thing is they already have Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. Mm-hmm. They did just release Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
And mainly the reason they released him is because he kept bitching about not getting the ball enough. Mind you, Deshaun Jackson...
He's washed up.
You aren't the deep threat you once were.
No. Was he 33, 34?
Man's... the fact that he's still being able to sign on teams baffles me.
Well, I mean, he's obviously... They see something in him, obviously.
But what they do say is that Odell Beckham will be a lot better in that slot, intermediate game than Jackson was.
Yeah, Deshaun's 34.
But would OBJ be willing to not get the ball as much?
One thing about it, he goes to LA, he's already a fucking diva. Is he not going to be off the field worried about all this diva shit in Hollywood, Tinseltown?
Yeah, and so then they said, obviously, the Raiders, who need a receiver now that Henry Ruggs is...
And Odell would get a lot... He would get a lot of fucking play there.
And then the third team that they're saying would be really
Detroit.
interested... the Saints are actually the third team because they were actually trying to trade for...
Yeah, before all the shit.
Odell, and then trade talks kind of just fell through because the Browns probably wanted too much for him and the contract was too big.
Yeah.
And
Well, Detroit wanted him too. And like I said earlier, they cleared Tyrell Williams. I think Tyrell, right? Or is it Tyreek?
Terrell Williams?
Tyrell Williams, they cleared him off the roster too. He was IR, but he wasn't, completely out.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's a crazy situation.
Well, it's really after if he doesn't get picked up off the waiver, which that's a lot of money for someone to eat off of the waiver wire.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, it's just crazy.
At that point, it's not who wants him, really. It's where does he want to go?
Yeah, no, 100%.
And at 34 years old, do you think he goes to a team that has no chance at a ring this year?
He'd go to the Bucks, but I don't think they would sign
No,
him.
but what I'm saying is, if you look at the list,
yeah.
If you say Raiders, Rams, Saints, and Lions.
Well, the Lions are obviously off the table.
Saints and Lions are both off the table there for a ring this year.
The Rams, I just don't see the Rams getting. I just don't see them get over the hump, and they might make playoffs. They're not going Super Bowl, and that's it. I'll say that right. I'll stand on my shield.
If Vaughn can stay healthy, their defense will probably be one of the best in the league,
which is great. I just don't see them going Super Bowl. I see the Raiders being real fucking sneaky right now. Not even sneaky. Like they're coming out. They've got a chip on their shoulder. I'm not saying the Raiders are going Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong. But I could see the Raiders before the Rams because you might have big names and be doing good, but that shit kind of implodes a lot of times too. I don't know.
Well, but, I mean, I think the Rams only have one loss right now. Like they are.
I think they have two.
I think they're 7-1.
No, I'll check right now. But I think they have two.
They're fucking out here. I don't know. I think the Rams have a shot to go deep into the playoffs with that defense if that defense can stay healthy.
Hold on a second. Let me check this shit out real fast.
And the offense. Sean McVay, the coach for the fucking Rams.
Fucking Adderall, cocaine.
That motherfucker.
Motherfucker, big-eyed motherfucker. He is on something. You cannot tell me anything different.
He's a smart motherfucker, though.
No, absolutely. No, I'm not.
Mainly offensively.
Yeah, I'm not taking anything from him.
But, because, fucking, what's he got? He got Stafford down there fucking revived into a fucking new motherfucking man.
Right. Hold on. I'm trying to see how to see. Did they have a bye? No, they don't have a bye week. I'm looking up the...
I don't know if they had a bye week yet or not.
Jesus Christ. Hold on.
But yeah, no, so that's what I'm saying. So he's really, I feel like his choices are going to be down to Raiders.
Yeah, they're 7-1. The Rams 7-1. I just see the Raiders. No, I don't. I see him going to the Rams because it's star-studded. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
shit like that.
And him and Von Miller are like best friends.
Oh, I don't know that.
Yeah, there's hella, they're on IG together all the time taking pictures, at sporting events, and, Von Miller posts pictures of OBJ saying happy birthday, brother, those kind of things. So,
that's what's up. That's cool, though.
So I think Von might be able to sway him a little bit.
But I just see with OBJ wants the ball so much, the Raiders have that open.
Well,
and beat in Vegas? Ugh, I don't know.
Well, what I'm saying is... If say OBJ comes in and Sean McVay can do kind of what Bruce Arians did to Larry Fitzgerald and says, look, bro, you're 34. You're not going to be our number one guy anymore. If you can line up in that slot position and make yourself useful, we can do big things. But if you think you're going to come in here and be the number one guy on the depth chart, then there's the door.
I don't see Sean McVay talking to somebody like that.
No, I know, but I'm just saying if McVay can,
yeah.
Because Bruce Arians did a similar conversation with Larry Fitzgerald and said, "Look, you're slowing down. We don't need you out on the edge.
Yeah.
We need you closer to the line of scrimmage, playing across the middle."
Yeah.
And Larry Fitzgerald himself said he even had trouble with that at first. Like, that's not me.
I saw that whole thing with him, yeah.
But when he finally realized that that's what was going to make the team successful, that's what he did.
Yeah.
And the thing is, can OBJ do that? Because OBJ is not the burner.
He's a fucking diva, but he's a diva. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he can stomach that.
He thinks he's that fucking guy. Like, listen,
man makes one catch and he thinks he's that fucking guy.
The NFL thought he was that guy. That shit. When you see Odell Beckham Jr. highlights, that's the only thing you see is that one catch. That's it.
And the thing is, was that catch gangster? 1,000%.
Yeah.
But
it's been replicated too.
One catch does. Yeah, I mean, there's
some
college kids that are making fucking catches.
It's not a
like
fucking
that.
abominably and shit.
Like,
either. I mean, if that was the case and he was that good, the Giants would not have let him go.
And that's my thing is, he's a. Honestly, if I'm trying to think like, he's a mid. Like, if I was grading wide receivers,
like high 80s.
Well, not only saying like numbers. If you were like, here's a list of guys, S tier guys like are those guys that are just the GOATs, like the guys that like in the league right now that if they were on a team, they're the number one guy.
Yeah.
And then you got the A guys who are like could be number ones, but are probably number twos. I'd put him at a B.
Yeah.
Low B, low to mid B.
Yeah.
Is where I'd put him.
No,
where
I
like
agree.
he could be a number one if there's no like if he's
number ones.
There's like no ballers on the team.
I get it.
And honestly, I've never felt like he was a true number one receiver. Number two for a while, and now I feel like he's just getting old and kind of a
more
little
of a
bit
slot,
slower, and he's
injury prone.
Again, like you said, his ego
is going to put him somewhere. A team that is in the spotlight.
Yeah, like his ego, he wants to be that number one target. I want fucking 10 targets a day. Like
Deshaun Watson's more of a deep threat than he is. Deshaun's got wheels.
Oh yeah,
and hands. He can catch it.
Odell Beckham has never had the wheels that Deshaun's had.
He had quote unquote hands, you know.
And that's my thing. So if they can make OBJ realize, hey, whether it's the Raiders or whether it's the Rams, if they can make him realize, like, look. You're not going to get the million targets that you think you're going to get, but we give you the best shot
to win a ring. Yep, I agree. But hold on, we got to get the fuck off football for a minute.
I don't know if there's much left for us to talk about.
I've got some shit on the list, but I'm going backwards to the baseball thing because obviously the World Series champs, but we'll get to that. Buster motherfucking Posey. I've got his jersey hanging in my closet right now. You know, I've had it for fucking since I met you.
Yeah.
So I met you in 2012.
Yep.
I think I got the jersey in 2010. I've had the same jersey for 11 years. And it saddens me.
Hasn't washed it yet either.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those you don't wash, get a dry clean kind of thing. But it saddens, and I wear it very limited, you know. But it saddens me to say that Buster Posey is officially retiring from the MLB. He broke the news yesterday, I believe. He had come out and said that, and this, mind you, for people that don't know, he plays for the San Francisco Giants baseball team, MLB. I guess he had talked to his wife and family last offseason and was going to retire, and then said, "Fuck it, we're going to get the band back together. We're going to go for one more run." And they put up the best record the Giants have ever put up. 108 wins. 107 wins with how many losses? What's that, 50?
70, was it 80?
It's 182. It's 182 games,
so
right?
75?
Or 100, it's 180 games, isn't it?
Yeah,
because the NBA is 82.
70, yeah, so 73 losses or whatever?
107 wins which is the best organization's ever put out.
Which is crazy, like, when you think about, like, college football or, like, the NFL, like, or even the NBA, and you're like, man, team lost 70 games.
Yeah,
like,
that's huge, but...
In the MLB, like, 107 and 7, even, like, 107 and 73, it's like, that was the best year they've ever had, and that's, like, and it is, it's, like, it's phenomenal, but, like, it's crazy to think, like, in college, if you lose 2 games, you're not going to the championship.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Some might be 1.
And yeah, some years it might be 1 that you'll never see the championship tournament.
Yeah.
And in the NFL, like, lose 5 games, see if you make the playoffs. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just
it's crazy. But this motherfucker, Buster Posey, has been around for 3 World Series wins. I think he won World Series MVP once.
He has 7 All-Star appearances too.
Did he? And he only played since 2010, I believe.
He the thing I saw, he has 12 years of MLB service.
Okay.
7 All-Star appearances, 3 Super Bowls.
Super Bowls?
Or I mean,
World Series.
World Series, yeah.
And he's got a World Series MVP.
Yeah.
And he has...
it, like, listed his whole...
He has at least 1 regular season MVP too, I believe. Either way, this guy is a GOAT. He played catcher, and it sometimes shifted to first base, very minimal.
Well, I mean, that's a normal catcher thing to do, try to save the knees.
Yeah. But the face of the franchise for the last 12 years. And it killed me when Bruce Bochy, the manager of the Giants, retired
2012 National League MVP.
Yeah.
4-time Silver Slugger. I was wrong. It's 6-time All-Star, not 7.
Gotcha. 4-time Silver Slugger, though?
Yeah, 4-time Silver Slugger.
Didn't he win Rookie of the Year, too?
I don't know. It's not on the list.
Pretty sure he did. But I could be wrong. He also broke his fucking leg defending home plate. Came back the next year and won the World Series.
That changed everything, too.
Yeah. The way he...
Yeah, NL Rookie of the Year in 2012. Or 2010.
So he's won Rookie of the Year, MVP, 3-time World Series winner, 1-time World Series MVP, 6-time All-Star, 4-time Silver Slugger.
He's actually not. He doesn't have a World Series MVP.
Oh, okay. My fault. Did he win... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say he has... So it lists 7 times... This says 7 times. The other thing said 6.
Oh.
So 7 times All-Star... 3 times World Series, NL MVP in 2012, which was
the World Series year,
which was his first year as an All-Star.
Yeah, then that
he didn't make All-Star their first World Series run
in 2010. That's so weird, bro. We watched the 2012 World Series at work. We had met each other in the summer in July.
Oh, June. It's because he was a rookie, and rookies don't usually make them.
Got you.
So 2010 is when he won his rookie.
So look, I met Big Mike in 2012, like June or July of 2012. We worked at the same business, okay? And in October, November, we had watched the World Series on my laptop at work. Mind you, I had that Buster Posey jersey on, my Giants hat we're talking about. And I remember the last out, whatever, that it sealed the deal. We won. And I remember taking my hat and frisbeeing that bitch across the store, and it went up and hit the roof tile and knocked that shit out. And I was like, oh shit, the boss probably watched this on camera. I was like, fuck it. I was like screaming, hooting, and hollering and shit. That was 2012. That's crazy.
Yeah, so he won 1 Gold Glove in 2016, 4-time Silver Slugger, 2-time Wilson Defensive Player of the Year.
Shit.
2 times Fielding Bible Award.
Did he make comeback player after his break of his leg? That shit was gruesome, too.
The Fielding Bible Award recognizes the best defensive player for each fielding position.
Ooh, shit.
So he won that twice. The Hank Aaron Award, which is a batting award, top hitter in each league. He got Comeback Player of the Year twice.
What?
2012 for that injury, and then he actually got it in 2021 also.
That's weird.
Because didn't he get injured in
Yeah.
2020 pretty bad too? Like he
Not
missed
pretty bad.
he
I
missed a
think.
big portion of the season. Didn't
I
he?
believe. Yeah, I don't think it was gruesome, but yeah.
No, it wasn't gruesome, but I'm saying it was like he missed a
Yeah.
big portion of the 2020.
And that's why he
season.
was going to retire. Remember?
And then he had NL batting champ gold in 2008. He won the Golden Spikes Award.
What's that for?
Oh, it's the best amateur baseball player in the United States.
Gotcha.
In
His
2008.
name is Gerald Posey. Buster's his nickname, but
Oh yeah, everybody like when he got drafted, they put his real name up there.
yeah,
and
nobody
everybody's
knew. Nobody knew. His teammates didn't know who the fuck
Yeah.
he was. They're like, Gerald Posey.
Yeah, and then in 2008, he also got the Dick Hauser Award, which is awarded to the best college player in baseball that year.
Yeah, what did he play for? Florida. Played the
Florida
Seminoles.
State. Yep.
Seminoles, yeah. Same college that Dion went to,
So
and Jameis Winston and all this shit.
since he's retiring, these will be his career final numbers.
He's definitely first ballot Hall of Fame. 1,000,000%.
304 batting average is his final batting average. 1,500 hits on the dot.
Jesus Christ.
158 home runs. 729 runs batted in. That'll be his final.
Damn. So
He's 34 years old.
almost half his fucking at bat, half his hits were RBIs.
Yeah,
That's crazy. How old is he? 34.
34.
And see, he's ending it kind of short for MLB. But
Yeah, and I
he's,
think-
he's done.
well,
a
from
catcher. A catcher's career.
From what I saw, is he said his main reasons were one, his body just hurts.
Yeah. And
Two,
family.
he wants to spend more time with his family.
Yeah. Which is
Those are his big
understandable.
reasons.
But Buster, I'm gonna tell you
I
straight
could
up.
see him coming back around to like
Coach or
manage
manage, yeah.
or that kind of stuff, or even to be a catcher's coach. I don't know if they have like positional coaching. I know they have batting coaches and pitching coaches.
Yeah.
I just don't know if they have like assistants that work with.
Well, if they don't, they might.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, anything's
he
possible.
he can be that, but Barry Bonds came back was a batting coach for the Giants.
Yeah.
And nobody thought that was going to happen. But Buster,
Posey
you'll be
just
missed.
he just has like the mind. Like when I look at guys like for
well,
coaching,
he encompasses the whole like spirit of baseball too. Like he is like the poster child of baseball.
Yeah, well, and he gets obviously catchers in general get overshadowed all the time.
Yeah.
By the guys in the outfield. Really, like
Unless you're like Jose Canseco or Tim.
what I'm saying is like I mean like if you asked people who weren't into baseball to name a baseball player, Buster Posey would never get named.
Really? You don't think so?
No, if it wasn't you would see Bryce Harper,
Well, yeah.
Mike. That's what I'm saying. They get
Yeah.
overshadowed by those guys.
David Ortiz back in the day.
Those guys that bomb home runs.
Yeah.
Because for people that don't watch baseball, the
They
only
see
thing you
highlights.
ever see is
Da-da-da, da-da-da. Yeah.
and for those outside people, really, most catchers are going to get skipped over.
Yeah. Especially they have a mask. You don't even see their face.
Yeah, and so, I mean, but for him, like, that's a weird stat. Like, literally, if he would have had 21 more RBIs, it would have been half of his hits resulted in RBIs.
That's why he was such a big part of our
That stat right there is wild.
Yeah.
To think about.
He's definitely first ballot Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
1,000,000%. There's no
Yeah,
not
I
even
mean,
discussion.
I mean, you could, and there's probably an argument for him. I wouldn't say to be the best catcher of all time, but in the top 5, top.
They should
10.
have stats with him throwing fucking steals out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, there probably is stats if you looked
Yeah.
delve deep enough.
Yeah.
There's pop times is what they call it from the second that and they time it because it literally the timer starts from the second it hears the pop of the pitch hitting his glove
Okay.
to the time that they hear the pop at second base.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And there's a time where they can see how fast it's called their pop time.
Jeez.
So it's how fast you can get from there, like from the
You gotta
pitch
get it
to
out
throwing
of
the
his
guy
glove.
out.
Damn.
Yeah, and his pop time was probably pretty quick.
Yeah.
He's... catchers just get wore out, dude.
No, 100%.
Imagine...
Your outfield, you have a long career. Designated hitter, obviously.
Well, and that's the thing is and no shade to Posey, if Posey was a power hitter...
Yeah.
Which, obviously, 128 home runs is nothing to scoff at, but that's not a power guy.
Yeah.
If he was a power guy like David Ortiz, he could easily hang around for 2, 3, 4 more years being a DH.
He could still hang around, but he just doesn't want to.
Oh, no, he wouldn't. No team would DH him.
No, I'm not talking about DH. I'm just talking about playing still.
No, but he's one of his things is his knees.
Yeah.
And so David Ortiz did the same thing where he just stopped fielding.
Yeah.
And because he had the power. I just don't think Posey just doesn't have the power to...
You're right.
And I'm not saying if he did, he would stay. I'm just saying he just...
Yeah.
For Posey, he just doesn't... And that's no knock on his game. That's just...
You don't want to overstay your welcome. You don't want to outlast your legacy. And it's crazy. I'm happy. I'm so happy that I was able to take my family, my wife and kids down to San Francisco 2 years ago and watch him. And this is when Panda was still there and everybody watched him play. The second time. and Panda knocked one into the splash zone. And he was only the 66th home run to make in the splash zone. I don't know what it is now. But mind you, you took your wife down there and saw the Giants game and watched Posey play live too, right?
Yeah, he was playing live.
So
that game was super good. It was literally, I think the game ended in a 1-0 Giants win or a 2-1 Giants win. It was
shit. When we went, we played...
No, it was 1-0 because I happened to get the only score on video. And me, when I'm at places like that, I don't tend to take a ton of pictures and videos. Just because I'm trying to be in the moment.
Yeah.
And I was crazy because the one time I whipped out my phone to take a video, I think I got the only score that the Giants did, and they ended up winning.
So when we went, they played the Seattle Mariners, and we won 13-2. And like I said, Pablo Sandoval hit one into the ocean.
McCovey Cove.
McCovey Cove and shit. I think Posey might have had one 13. I'm pretty sure it was 13-2.
Yeah.
It was we dog walked them, and it was cold. It was fall. It was I should say it was late September. I don't think it was that bad. But San Francisco, it gets cold.
Especially night games. I swear.
Ours was an afternoon, but it started getting evening.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Those in the bay, if you start
God.
It's it's not that bad out. Say it's a 4 p.m. first pitch.
Yeah.
By 5:30, when the game is still going,
I think that's what ours was.
You're ooh.
And MLB games last a long time.
You're dang.
Yeah. And I gave my sweater to the kid,
Yeah.
And I'm off their shirt and just my jersey and an undershirt. And I was cold. But, we salute you, Buster Posey. Giving you your flowers. And we got to see Bruce Bochy manage. That was his last season he managed. It's crazy. But salute to the Atlanta Braves for winning the World Series.
/ Guardians.
Yeah, well, they won it as the Braves. The day after they won the World Series, the crane came in and took the Braves sign off the
when they hang the banner.
Park.
Or when they put it up on there, wherever they're going to put it up, do you think they put it up as a Braves World Series?
1,000,000%. They have to. They have to. I mean, they're going to keep the one from '95 when they won it last as Braves.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, it'll be put up because if not, they would have changed the Guardians before the World Series because they already came out and said they were going to change it to the Guard. We talked about this on the podcast 2-3 months ago. So 100%. They changed it from the Braves. So the day after they won the World Series, I saw a video of them with a crane outside on the outer rim of the ballpark, taking the Braves name off the big sign and putting Guardians. So, starting 2022 season, they'll be the Atlanta Guardians.
Yeah.
So, but congratulations to them. Thank you for beating the Houston Cheaters. Astros, assholes, whatever.
I saw this meme. It was who was everybody rooting for in the World Series, and it was this little orange circle right around
Houston.
And then the rest of the country was just red.
Yeah.
For the Braves.
I was rooting for the Braves. I was rooting for the Braves after fucking Dodgers ended our season, our career, our playoff.
Yeah.
And then they played the Braves, right? We were rooting for the Braves from the jump then.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Not from the jump, from, after we, that fucking bad call by the ump. But whatever, that is what it is.
Well, I mean, that bad.
Yeah, we might have lost the next pitch. It is what it is. So, but yeah, so that's what I have on that. What do you got?
Don't want to pass up our boy, LiAngelo.
Oh, yeah, Ball. Gelo, baby. Yeah, I forget about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't want us to forget because we always be hyping him up.
We are strong supporters and have been of the Ball family. Big Baller and his 3 Bs, the Big Baller Bren or the Big Baller Brothers.
Yeah, 22 points.
And mind you, this is his debut for the G League Charlotte Swarm, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
It's Greensboro Swarm.
Greensboro, Charlotte.
They're the affiliate for the Hornets, the Charlotte Hornets. 22 points, 9 of 13 field goals in 24 minutes.
Off the bench. He wasn't even starting. Came off the bench.
You think Homeboy starts here soon?
I think Homeboy starts in the NBA this season.
I don't know if he's... plays
the NBA. My fault. You're right.
I think, as a coach, if Ball came out and gave you 22 points...
24?
22 points in 24 minutes is what it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
If he gives you 22 points on 9 of 13 shooting, which that equates to got to be 65% shooting.
I think he had 4 3-pointers.
And he, from the highlights I saw, man, was offensive rebounding and fucking
hook shotting,
down low,
leaners and shit,
getting assists, doing his thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up his actual stats.
If I'm that coach, I give him the green light next game. Starter.
I would hope so.
If that's what you're gonna do off the bench. Hey, we in the G League, aren't we supposed to be developing people? Guess what you're going to do? Show me what you can do with more minutes.
22 points in 24 minutes.
That's what I'm saying.
He was averaging fucking a point.
A minute almost.
A little under a minute. Or over a minute, sorry. That's crazy, bro.
Show me what you can do. And if you don't perform, maybe we pull you off the bench. Because some guys, which I find very weird, they play better off the bench.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Manu Ginobili, crazy as it is, won 6th Man of the Year.
Yeah.
That man, for some reason, yeah, he was good as a starter, but he had some weird, I don't know if it was how Jordan was known for making shit up to make himself play better?
Maybe the pressure wasn't as high,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe Manu comes off the bench and is okay, there's no pressure. I have to prove myself out here.
Mm-hmm.
And, when you think about, if you're, great European basketball players that played in the NBA, Manu's top 5, easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
1,000,000%.
And people forget that he literally won a 6th Man award and the next year was in the running for it again.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because he played better off the bench. So, what I was saying is, you let Ball start, and if he kind of does okay or doesn't do what he needs to do, maybe he's the guy maybe he is that guy who is the 6th man.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing bad about that.
No, not at all. And that's all he wants to be. I mean, he really just wanted to make the G League. And he's there.
But I do, if he keeps this trajectory, he will play in an NBA game before the end of the year.
Yes, for sure. If he keeps the trajectory,
which
I agree.
I think would be dope to see.
I can't find stats on him. I'm still.
It's hard to find full G League stats.
Yes, dude, I'm trying.
I mean, you heard those announcers when we were watching that shit. Sounded like I was watching a 1990s Jordan replay.
Sound like you're listening to the Big and Blizz podcast, not fucking buffed out and shit.
It was very. When you press play on it, I was kind of taken back. I was like, what the? But I think it'd be dope to see him and his brother on the court together by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Even if it's for garbage time minutes or something. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, and I'm sure that fucking they would love that too. Everybody would.
But speaking of random motherfuckers getting their chance in the NBA, the security guard for...
Oh, yes. For the Dubs, for the Warriors.
Yeah, the Warriors G League team is giving one of the security guards a tryout.
Yeah, for the Warriors. Let me find that story real quick. It was an IG story the wife sent me.
And I'm like, hey, man, that's... What's up? Like, how? Like, you know what I mean? It's one of those things like, how, Sway? Like, how'd they find out?
He went and tried out, I guess. Let me find the story real quick. And
well, that's what I'm saying, but like, motherfuckers just over here like, hey, I'm security, bro. I'm a real shooter.
I'm sure one of the guys from the Dubs put a word in. You know, I guarantee he's been out there, you know, fielding balls for them during training and shit. And, you know, geez, I'm trying to find, did I send it to you? I'm looking, bro. I'm looking.
Yeah, I thought you sent it to me.
I'm sure I did. I'm looking it up. It's on IG, I'm pretty sure. I'm still looking. Oh, right here. Warrior security guard gets G League tryout with Santa Cruz, which is the affiliate for the Warriors, obviously. And this is quote unquote from Steph. And mind you, the security guard's name is Jonathan Amey. It's Amey Jr. Amey Jr. So Steph says he's a constant figure when you're coming out of the building. It speaks about how encouraging, motivating, and unifying basketball is for him to go put himself out there and go out for a tryout. So, I mean, that's dope. That's fucking cool. Mind you, this dude looks like the picture of him looks like it's from the 70s, and he was about 40 at that picture. But
hey,
whatever though, you know, more power to him. It's even the Dubs are so good that even the security guards are getting tryouts.
Right? Like, damn.
That's crazy. I'm still, like I said, I'm still trying to find Gelo's fucking...
I've always found it so hard. Like, when we were trying to find... Even Summer League stats were super hard for us to remember that. But while you're looking for that, sticking with basketball, I wanted to talk about how bad the Celtics shit the bed.
Oh, yeah. You were telling me... I didn't even know about that earlier. You're like Greensboro Swarm. Look at their website. Who's the first person you see? The big-ass picture.
LiAngelo flexing on him.
Gelo Ball is the headline picture on here. I'm going to get into this shit right now. Go ahead, though.
The Bulls trailed their game 96-77 with 2 minutes and 28 seconds left in the third quarter. They then went on a huge run and a 51-18 run in the last 14 minutes of the game. That means that they outscored the Celtics threefold. Like 3 times the amount of points. To set the first team to ever be down 14 points since the shot clock era, which was 1954. The team that they were down by 14 points and then ended up winning by over 14 points.
That's crazy, though.
Like, how you just going to sit there and let that happen?
Especially with the Celtics, who you have
a
young core and Brown, right?
Yeah.
No, did they get... No, they still have him, huh?
No, yeah, they saw him. Like, to have that squad and just fuck it off?
And to who?
The Bulls. I mean, the Bulls are going...
Yeah, they're 6-2, I believe. Earlier today, I believe. But look, I'm gonna hand this off to you, LiAngelo's stats right here. I mean, they're cool. I mean, the points. His you know, what he brought to the team was...
He had an offensive rebound, an assist.
He made 4 for 7 from 3.
4 for 7 for 3. That's over 50%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is crazy.
And coming off the bench, he's not expected to have hella rebounds or hella fucking assists. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, his position in general isn't super expensive.
What is it, power forward? No.
Small forward.
Small forward. Okay, gotcha. And like I said, he's coming off the bench.
Yeah, see, Lonzo's Bulls are 6-2, third in the East. Well, tied for second technically with the Heat. And then
Melo and the Hornets.
they've slipped.
Have they? Well,
Yeah.
I know that my Dubs just beat them last night.
The
night
Bulls,
before.
and the Hornets were 1-2 in the East for
Yeah.
a
They
week
were,
or two.
They were both going good.
But the Hornets are now 5-5.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they're on a 3-game losing streak.
They plateaued and now started coming downhill.
Yeah, dang, the Jazz are handling business.
Are they?
7-1,
Damn it.
same as the Warriors.
Yes, Warriors, baby.
But,
Dubs.
Yeah, and the Jazz, I didn't realize the Jazz were putting on a show this year.
Hey, speaking of basketball and shit, how about Kobe and body armor?
Yeah, I knew that he invested and was making money,
I didn't
realize
find
it
out.
was.
I didn't find out till I think a couple days, like literally 1 or 2 days after he had passed away, that because all of a sudden news started coming out about all his investments.
Yeah, I didn't know until after he passed about his body armor. Investment.
Yeah, I found out because my kids and the wife, I used to get them body armor at the time. They like that shit. And I found out like 2 days after he passed, they were talking about he had invested in body armor. I think 2011. I think about that time. If I could be wrong. When body armor came out, Kobe invested $6 million, which gave him 13% ownership. And when he had passed away, the reason they brought that up is because that $6 million had turned into $90 million is what it was valued at. Well, Coca-Cola just bought body armor. And now, I can't say Kobe, his estate, Vanessa, his kids, whatever, they're going to receive $400 million off his $6 million investment. I mean, $6 million is a lot of fucking money and a lot to invest.
Yeah.
But a fucking $394 million profit? Shit. Almost $500 million profit, dude.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's fucking crazy. And I think Coca-Cola bought it for like 3.9 or 5.9 billion, which is a huge difference. But yeah, he made a $394 million profit in 10 years. If somebody told me, hey, you got $5,000, invest it now, in 10 years you'll receive a fucking 3.5 million. Oh, say less,
Right? Like, whew.
I could sit out for fucking 10 years to receive that. But yeah, Kobe, beyond the grave, is still fucking, not, I can't say supporting his family because they've got generational wealth just from him playing, But he's still adding on. Like, he obviously was building for the future and not realizing the future wasn't going to consist of him in it, which is sad as fuck. And again, we've been, big Kobe fans and RIP to the Mamba and Gigi and the rest of the ones that passed away. We've said it a million times. But yeah, that's a big profit to turn. Anything else? What are you thinking?
I have Jordan Love will be starting for the Packers this weekend because of Aaron Rodgers
supposedly lied about being vaxxed.
Well, I mean, they're quarantining him because he was around, I think, the quarterback coach.
Oh, I heard that he caught COVID, but I mean, I could be wrong.
No, he's in COVID protocol is what he's in.
Gotcha.
So technically, I guess, well, he might be positive now, but essentially he's not being benched because he's positive.
Gotcha.
He was being benched because he was around. Jordan Love says Kurt, just the first name Kurt.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that it is. What do you call it? I'm assuming that it's like the quarterback coach.
Yeah.
Or someone in there that like, I don't know, someone in the room.
Yeah.
And the only reason Jordan Love's going to be allowed to play is because he is vaccinated.
Which means he could fucking have it because vaccinated people can still get it.
Oh, 1,000%. But that's...
He might not be symptomatic.
The CDC protocol says that if you're vaccinated, you don't have to quarantine.
So dumb. No, I get it.
But he's saying that he has prepared for this. He feels confident in himself. Blah, blah, blah.
Well, I mean, Rodgers had to take over for Favre, and now, this could be the beginning of that. But...
I mean, you're not wrong. You easily could. And my thing is, I think this would be crazy if, let's say he does come in and ball out and, what does his thing, they win, whatever. It could easily be, because the Packers have been like, we don't want to trade Rodgers, we don't want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This could be that, oh, fuck, we don't need Rodgers moment.
Yeah, and give him what he wants, and he can be a free agent.
Yeah, they're like, we could trade him, bring in picks so that we can find people to help Love, you know what I mean?
Which they never did for Rodgers. Fucking stupid, but yeah.
Oh, I know, but I'm just like, you know what I mean? That could easily be. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's kind of fucked for Rodgers. I mean, Rodgers wants out, so it's not really fucked. But like in a general sense, it's fucked that
it took this.
COVID could do this or an injury, and it happens all the time.
Yeah,
it happened with Tyrod Taylor and Justin Herbert got forced into the spotlight and balled out.
Yeah,
that's just how it is.
Next man up. There you go. Any given Sunday, next man up.
But yeah, no, I agree. I think we had to talk about the picks though.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up with the picks.
Because we didn't record last week. And so this, mind you, the picks that we're giving that we made previously are from week 7?
So 2 weeks ago, technically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
week 7, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We should start marking that on top of the...
Probably.
Yeah.
I was 9-3 and you were 11-1.
Ooh, I think I'm winning more weeks than you are now.
Yeah, because when we do that split thing, for some reason I just keep getting the shaft when we do the split thing. I actually didn't mark which one's won on this.
Yeah, we should have put money on this at the beginning of the season. Well, I mean, the hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, and so, but for this week, we Raiders versus Giants.
Raiders.
We both took Raiders. Falcons versus Saints.
This is this coming up week, right?
Yeah, this week.
Okay, so starting. Yeah, okay.
So without the Thursday night game, obviously, and then Falcons versus Saints.
But we picked the Thursday night game though. We both picked. You picked Indy. I picked.
Yeah, but I mean, we just it's past. So
yeah. Oh yeah. Got you.
Falcons versus Saints. We both took Saints. Bills versus Jags. We both took Bills. Browns versus Bengals. Bengals.
Yeah.
Pats versus Panthers. I took Panthers.
I took Pats.
And then Broncos versus Cowboys.
I picked Cowboys, baby.
I took the Broncos. Vikings versus Ravens. We both took the Ravens. Yeah. Texans versus Dolphins. We both took the Dolphins. And side note, Tua probably
is pissed.
Hates the Dolphins because they tried to trade him to the Texans.
As he should.
For Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of funny that trade was going to happen, and then the Texans decided they wanted more, but it happened to happen right before they play each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Chargers versus Eagles. Both went Chargers. Packers versus Chiefs. We both went Packers. Chiefs they've been having a rough year.
Yeah, their defense is ass, and so is Patrick Mahomes, but whatever.
Cardinals versus 49ers. We both took Cardinals. Especially coming off that loss, I think those Cardinals are going to come out smacking.
Blazing. And they could have won that game if their receiver would have turned around.
Oh, God, dude, that's...
Yeah.
Man retired halfway through his route.
Shit. I think 3/4. Like, he just never made the turn. Shit.
Titans versus Rams. I took Rams.
I took Titans. AP, speaking of Titans, signed Adrian Peterson.
Hey, dude.
I'd say a veteran, but he's a little older than a veteran.
Man's a journeyman at this point.
Yeah, no shit.
Bears versus Steelers.
I picked Steelers, didn't I?
Yeah, and then I took Bears. And then next Thursday's game is Ravens versus Dolphins.
Ravens.
Yeah, I mean, if the Ravens lose that game, I feel bad for you, son.
Right.
You got 99 problems.
And football is one. Hey, did we go over the last picks we did? We didn't.
Well, I set our record. I just didn't. I didn't circle who won which one.
Gotcha. You're good.
So, so episode 21.
Ooh, thank you for whoever is hanging with us, listening, subscribing, liking, all that shit. We appreciate each and every that one of you, that only one that's probably been here.
Hey,
no, we appreciate everybody who is here, but it's probably only one person. So it's probably Jayla. It's probably my daughter. Anytime the podcast goes hot, she's the first one listening and liking and all that stuff. But our wives don't even listen to our shit. I think they're sick of hearing us throughout the regular day. So,
right.
Anyways, we love y'all. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas coming up. I mean, we'll talk to y'all before then, but